So today we're going to be recreating together this makeup look on Jasmine from UK Love is Blind. Her makeup artist name is Roxy Habibi. On Instagram, you can check her out. She does amazing makeup. She's done makeup for a few of the cast members. And I really like this look on Jasmine. I think it's very, very pretty. It's a very classic look that really matches everything. I love it. I think she looks gorgeous. And we're also going to talk about Love is Blind because this show is craziness. And if you watched it, I'm sure you have many thoughts about it as well. I'm going to do my makeup and chit chat about the show. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. So I'm going to be using the Easy Blur foundation by Huda Beauty. I have two shades. I have Latte and Amaretti. I'm going to mix both because this is a bit too light and this is a bit too dark. Honestly, I didn't think I would watch Love is Blind, and you know, I watched 1 or 2 seasons, and the last season I was like, this is not for me. But then I just opened it on my Netflix and I got hooked. And I think this is what's happening to everybody. We get hooked into those stories of love, and we want to know what is going to happen. Like, there are some scenes that I just cannot wait to see, like the scenes of the reveal when they see each other for the first time. This is very intense, also very scary. Obviously at the altar when they have to say I do or I don't. Like, there are some key moments that I'm just living for. This is also a Huda Beauty brush, by the way. It's very, very nice, very dense, very easy to apply a foundation and super fast. This foundation, I made a review if you want to check it out, but it's a beautiful full coverage yet natural finish foundation. And honestly, I always say to my husband, this show should be called Love is Delusional. And no offense to anyone, because honestly, if I were to be stuck in the pod, I would probably be acting the exact same way. I think it's a very interesting experiment. And you know, they are like seeing each other like so much more, and in conditions that are so much more also intimate. They have to talk to each other. There's nobody around them. It's super quiet. They have to get into deep conversation. This in the real world would realistically take months. So it's like fast forwarding the whole process. I'm gonna use Huda Beauty for Filter Concealer in the shade Vanilla Swirl. So there is no doubt that it's super intense, but sometimes when you just hear the thing that they say to each other, like, you know, I've been waiting for you my whole life, I've never met somebody like you, I love you forever, like, they say things that, you know, you will say to somebody in the real world after years, you know. Like, it is scientifically proven that when you are falling in love with somebody, you are not yourself. Like, your hormones are like mad, like you have all those happy hormones rushing into your brain, like oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. Chemically, you're completely, I think, like, you know, out of balance. It's like you are on something. Like, you are on something. So can you really take the right decision when you in that state of mind? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna use for my blush Charlotte Tilbury. This is a coral blush. I think on Jasmine face, she has a very orangey coral type of blush that matches her dress. So I think there is definitely a mix of the chemicals, the body stuff, and then there is also like your imagination, like what you want out of this relationship. Like, you are so close to getting what you want, to reaching your dreams and have that amazing soulmate. Your imagination, sometimes like what you imagine, it's better than the real life. In many instances, you know, the way we are fantasizing or imagining things, it is just like better. And so then they meet each other, get off the pod, and then they realize that, you know, it was just a fantasy. Like, in some of the case, obviously they did, you know, perfectly match. And you see it, obviously, that they have a lot in common. You can see why they would click and why they would want to pursue their relationship. But again, I feel like it's also like a big, like a very high level matchmaking show, you know. They really like investigated each of the cast. I'm sure there is a long process of questioning and background check. And I'm gonna add this blush by Huda Beauty. This is Toasted Tangerine Cream Blush because I just want a bit more blush. I don't think the Charlotte Tilbury was given enough color. It's a beautiful blush, but they tend to be a bit too subtle in my opinion. And then I'm gonna be using Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick just to bronze my skin, but also just contour a touch. So my question is like, does the production of the show knows already who will be a good match? Like, I feel like they've already kind of like lay out their options and matched people, you know, in the background, and so they kind of know who, because they have to make the show work, right? So they kind of have to already know, and that must be very interesting for them to find out if they were right or wrong. And then obviously they're gonna add that one loose cannon in the cast. And in the UK season, the latest one is definitely Sam. He is the loose cannon, and I think they knew what they were doing. That is just for entertainment. Like, we needed some drama amongst the couples, and this was it. So now I'm gonna be using some powder. I'm gonna be using the Essence Banana Powder. Super affordable and super nice. Her skin is not like completely matte. Obviously, you want to be able to set your foundation, but you don't want to be like all matte. You want to have that little glow that is remaining. So I'm just gonna go light with the powder. I'm just insisting on, you know, all the dangerous zones. So I'm adding a bit of bronzer. This is from Catrice More Than Glow highlighter. I never tried it, but it's beautiful. And I'm also going to be adding a bit of bronzer, and this is from Wet n Wild. I'm going to do my brow using Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. It's one of the only brow pencil that I ever use. So I don't know where I stopped. Yes, so we have the loose cannon Sam, like we have the bad guy in the equation. I don't know, like the Nicole and Benayan and Sam trio was a bit weird for me, because obviously like you could see that Sam was very different from Benayan, and you can see that Benayan was very genuine. You know, maybe it was hard for him to express himself, but you could see that he was such a sweetheart from the beginning. Whereas Sam, you could clearly see that he was very into himself, very egocentric. You could see like narcissist, honestly, red flags here. It's just like it makes you question, like, what did Nicole see in him? Like, what did she imagine? Like, why would she make that decision? And she said, I think she said, like, I have to trust my gut, you know? That's what my gut is telling me. I have to go for Sam. And then later on, she said, you know, I have to trust my gut and I have to go for Benayan. So I don't know if the gut thing is working here. And I'm not judging, because obviously, like, you know, the heart wants what it wants. But I do think that Love is Blind to a point. I think that considering the set that you are in the pod, plus your imagination, plus your expectation, it plays a big role on how we perceive things. Like, we all have our own reality. And I think when you're in the pod, you create your own reality. But when you get out of the pod, you have straight away like signals that you just cannot ignore. Like, as soon as you see somebody in the flesh, your body is gonna signal, your brain is gonna signal you things that you just cannot ignore. And you can clearly see Nicole and Sam, like Nicole had straight away those signal that this was not the right person for me. So for my eyes, I'm gonna be using this palette by Catrice. It's called Desert Romance. It's a very nice palette, very nice tones in it, super, super affordable. And I'm going to be using this kind of beige shimmer. I'm going to mix both. And I'm going to place this on my eyelid. This is a very classic makeup look, very easy to do and very, very nice. And then in the corner of my eyes, I'm going to be using a touch of smoke, and I'm going to be using it with Camel. Smoke is a bit too dark, Camel is too light. So maybe in between. And I'm going to be placing this just on the outer corner of my eyes. For now, I kind of just place the shadow, and I'm going to be blending it afterwards. So do I think Love is Blind? I don't think Love is Blind. I think love blinds you. I think the show can definitely work for some, because at the end of the day, like, they're matching people that want the same thing, and based on, like, you know, personality traits or like preferences or expectation and so on. So they are well matched again. And so yes, in that point of view, it can work, because in the real world, I mean, I haven't been dating in a long time. I've been married for 12 years. I'm probably not the best person to talk. It's interesting from my point of view as well, because I can kind of also tell the one that would last and the one that would probably not last. But again, people involved and can grow together. So I don't really think anyone can judge, because when you're in it, you're in it. It might sound like ridiculous when you're watching, but I can only imagine, you know, how intense it is. So I'm just blending the shadow in the outer corner of my eyes now. And I'm not going all the way, I'm just going right here. I'm leaving that shimmer, and I can even go on top and add a bit more if I feel like I want this to be a bit more intense. Shimmer is very nice with your finger. It's actually easier to apply, and also it's more intense, and there's no fallout when you apply with finger. And then we're gonna do an eyeliner. So I have my favorite eyeliner brush and eyeliner product I just bought from Inglot. This is a must-have eyeliner if you are into beautiful eyeliner. It has the most amazing consistency formula. It's super long-lasting. It's super black. I have the same in brown. Usually I wear brown, but for the sake of today, I'm gonna wear black. So, oh man, it's like butter. Can't tell you how satisfying this is. Look at that. Ah, my gosh. All right, so eyeliner. So it's a very thin eyeliner and with quite a long flick that really elongates your eyes. So I'm just looking straight into my mirror, and I'm just going very slowly, very lightly. I'm just gonna do first the flick, following my lower lash line. And then I'm just gonna go from here, and I'm gonna go downward. And then from the rest of my eye, keeping it super thin. Another aspect that I feel like we need to talk about is social media, because those people obviously were not known, especially to the public, unless they worked on their personal branding prior or whatever. And then once the show is out there, then they become not superstar, but people are starting to follow them, and they have tons of followers and tons of comments, and they're getting super popular on social media. Now people are invested into your love life. So this is where you have to be smart. I'm gonna add some very light lashes. This is from Amazon. I have to check the link, but I remember it was super affordable, and they're very nice and light. So I'm gonna be using those. The only glue I trust is the Duo glue. So I will not use any glue that I found on Amazon. I just buy the lashes because I know that oftentimes it's the manufacturers themselves that are putting the lashes on Amazon. The same manufacturers that are supplying the biggest brands out there. So I might as well buy it from them directly. So I'm just gonna place this. It's a super light lash, and on top I'm gonna be using Legit Lashes Mascara by Huda Beauty. I'm just gonna lift everything nicely. So yeah, with social media, they have to be, smart with it if they really want to make the most out of the experience. I know they were there for love and not anything else, but it's so hard to get already, views and likes and so on. You might as well make the most of it. So they have to decide very fast, what they're going to do with the attention that now they are getting through social media, because they could do so much, especially if they have their own businesses, or if they are selling something or promoting something. They can use now their platform to really amplify whatever they were doing before. It's something to think about. Like, they had 1 year between the experiment and when the show was launched, so they also had 1 year to prepare. But obviously I know a lot of them didn't think like probably business. This is Lip Contour Terracotta by Huda Beauty. So overall I feel like it's a very interesting experiment. I don't know if the pods are necessary. I think those people would have gravitated towards each other regardless. I think it is a nice concept to give people the chance to get to know each other without seeing each other, without the physical appearance, because I feel like a lot of men, and maybe women as well, will have chosen somebody different at the start based on the appearance. But again, like, people like this probably would not have been ready to get married anyway, because if you are really ready to find your soulmate and find your connection, and if you're not just there for flirting, then you will go past that. You will really straight away be able to kind of dig deeper into like values, into goals, and so on. And you will not really stop at the physique. You'll be able to control yourself. And so I do feel like the one that, later on when they have like parties all together are like, oh, but if I had knew, I would have went with that person because she looks so much more beautiful, or he looks so much more handsome, or we're just more like physically attracted to each other, and so I should have went for that person. I think those guys were probably not really ready to get married, because you can see like the one that are 100% sure are not budging. Even when they are like in parties environment, they are not looking at anybody else, they're not budging. They might have thoughts, it's human nature, but they're not going to compromise the relationship that they are in. And so I think you'll only do that if you're not happy with the relationship that you are in, if you don't feel comfortable about the relationship that you are in, or if you're not ready. This is Empress by Huda Beauty. I'm gonna put this in the center, and then on top I'm gonna put Huda Beauty lip gloss in honey. It's a bit sticky, there's gloss everywhere. I think somebody, probably me, forgot to close it properly, and this is gonna give me that very nice shade that she has on her lipstick as well. Put some setting spray from Charlotte Tilbury. So that is the final look and my final thoughts on Love is Blind. Let me know in the comment what you think. I would love to know if you would do it. Do you think it's a good experiment? Let me know. What do you think? Obviously, I think this show is so popular because it is so polarizing. Some people think it's insanity. Some people think it's genius. I think we all can relate to an extent as well. So I'm interested to know what do you guys think about Love is Blind? Do you think love is blind? I think love is delusional.